Good morning, Mikel.
Morning.
Has the pain gone away yet from Wednesday night? Having watched the match again, what's your further analysis?
It's still always there. I think every time you have a defeat, it takes a few days to get it over. But the full focus now is on Newcastle. Is obviously things that we had to do much better in the game, especially the way we compete, the way we conceded the goals. I don't think that the scoreline reflects what happened in the game at all. But we should have done much better.
Did you learn much about the depth of your squad in that match?
No, you learn about that every game is very different to the previous one, and you have to be at it. And when you take the foot out of the gas in any action in this league against this type of opponent, you get punished. And it's as simple as that. So you have to keep the standards at the maximum level if you want to keep winning and winning.
In terms of team news, are you able to welcome back any players who haven't been available over the last few weeks?
We have another training session, so there's a possibility, but I don't know.
In terms of Emil Smith-Rowe, have you got any further details on his injury?
Nothing has changed. As I said, I think he will be out for weeks. How many would determine, obviously, in relation to how he progressed the first few weeks, especially. And big blow because he was getting some momentum and some minutes, and we were starting to get the meal that we needed, but unfortunately, he's going to be out again.
And Martin Odegaard's playing time has been managed over the last two matches. How much has that benefited him, and will he be in a position to potentially start tomorrow?
Yeah, we have tried to offload him a little bit because he had a little issue that he was grumbling with. He felt much better in the last few days. We gave him a few minutes against West Ham, which was good to see, and his contribution was really good. And he will train today, and if he's fine, he will be ready.
And finally, for me, the West Ham defeat was just your second loss of the season, unbeaten still in the Premier League, and a chance to go top tomorrow if you're victorious. How do you reflect on the start of the season?
That is very early, that we have to go game by game, that we are in a really good position, and we have to continue to be there. Tomorrow we have a really tough match against Newcastle, but it's the games that you have to play when you want to be at the top.
Thanks, James. We'll go to Anita from the Premier League.
Morning, Mikel.
Hi.
I understand that you obviously want to focus on the game coming up, but I just had one question relating to the performance against West Ham. How concerned are you that the standards that you speak of and the quality that Arsenal fans have become used to seeing their team play with dropped so much then?
Well, it dropped especially in one phase in the second half. And when that happened, then you have to compete in a different way to try to recover the momentum in the game, and we didn't do that well enough. We know the standards, and we know that the way we play, especially the second half, like the other day, is not good enough.
And then in terms of Newcastle tomorrow, they're unbeaten since their loss to Brighton. St James's Park has become a fortress of late. And how much of a test are you expecting?
A big one of the toughest places to go and win. We've done it. It's nothing new to it. We know what we expect. Very, very clear what they do, what their strengths are, where the opportunities are as well for us. And we will try to take the game where we want.
And are you seeing a confident squad that can recover from that game and go ahead and, as we just heard, potentially...
This is football. The next game is the next game. The next day you have to be focused, and our full focus energy is now beating Newcastle. That's it.
Thank you, that's it.
Ian from TalkSport.
Hi, Mikel, are you well?
Right. Yeah.
What do you make of the job that Eddie Howe's done? Because I think when Newcastle were taken over and became the richest club in the world, a lot of people wondered whether or not he would be able to take them to the next level.
Huge credit to him. I think he has transformed the club, the environment, the atmosphere, what he has created in the team as well, such a belief in what they do, and that's a huge compliment to him for what he's done.
I think you both, in a way, done similar jobs with the clubs you're at.
I don't know. Every club is different. I have huge credit for what he's done, the way he's done it, the way his team plays, the environment that he has created is fantastic, and yeah, he had a lot of support, which we all needed as well, and they are now big contenders.
You were talking about how the standards maybe dropped a little bit at West Ham the other night. Can I ask you a question I asked you a month ago and you said no, so you probably say no again. Are you concerned about the form of Kai Havertz? Amongst a lot of players, I think.
No, and I'm not going to put any individual as you expect. You know, we are a team, and when we play for the best is the team. When we don't, I am the maximum responsible for that, and we all need to try to improve every single day. That's
Finally, a player you've been linked with, I'm not necessarily saying you're going to buy him or you're even interested in him, is Toney. This week, Brentford apparently put a £100 million price tag on him if someone wants to buy him in January. It's more about that, really. You spent £100 million on a player in the summer. Chelsea spent £100 million twice on a player. It now seems that we've gone from being 20, 30, 40 million is quite a lot to spend on a player to nearly every player is now worth £100 million. As a manager and someone who's been involved in football a long time, do you find that a little bit crazy?
Well, I think there's been an evolution. I think we've gone from the 10s to the 20s to the 80s to the 100. There have been players that cost 220 million as well, you know. So it's not that we are getting used to it, but yeah, it's something that is happening and it's happening more and more often. But yeah, and about all the players, all the clubs, what we are doing, is no comment on that.
Is that something a manager thinks about, the price tag, how much it costs to buy the player, before they buy them?
First of all, is what can we do to improve our team, and then can we afford it, and does it make sense in our project to spend certain money in certain players, and there is a lot of work to be done there.
Mark, Press Association.
Hi.
Ben White will make his 100th appearance for Arsenal if he plays tomorrow. I assume he will. Can you just talk about his evolution from someone who struggled on his debut to someone who's now probably one of your most key players?
Yeah, I think he's progressed in the right way in the last few years. As you said, he had a little bit of a difficult start, which is normal because it was a big jump, different expectations, started to play as well in certain different positions. But I think he showed a lot of determination and courage to overcome any of that. I think he has a big personality. I think he copes with pressure really well. He has a lot of quality. He gives us different positions, and he's been a key player for us.
A lot of your key players over the last year
Have signed new deals. Is Ben, in your opinion, the next one off the rank in that regard as well? Is he close to a new deal?
Yeah, we are always trying to keep the squad in a healthy position in any way, and the club and Edu especially are working on that.
He's a bit of a strange character, Ben, in the sense that whenever we talk to him, he talks about how he doesn't particularly even like football, he doesn't really watch football. But hey, is it important to have different characters around the training ground?
Yeah, and he's a really good character on his own way, and the way he is, the way he presents himself. But he loves football. The way, you don't play that amount of game, the way he trains every day, the way he applies himself is top, and we need players like him.
Jordan from The Athletic.
Mikel, just on Gabby Jesus, on his injury, do you know if he's going to definitely be back after the international break?
I cannot guarantee that. We are trying to get a recovery as quick as possible. I said that it will be weeks, but very difficult to put a time frame still right now.
When you're planning your squad, he's obviously such an important player. How disruptive is this that, that's the maybe third or fourth injury that he's had in the last year?
It's football, is what happens. He hasn't had a lot of muscle injuries. It's true that the load that he had in the last few weeks to what he's done in the past, even when he was at City, has been very, very different. And he's still adapting to it. Yeah, we lost 4 big players in the last few weeks, but it's the challenges that you have throughout the season.
For Eddie, at the weekend, this could be his 100th Premier League start. Does the fact that he played 8 or 10 games in the league so far, and that he got such a big role in the squad, does that vindicate his decision to stay and fight rather than go somewhere else where he was guaranteed playing?
Yes, but I think he has earned that right, and yeah, we tried to explain him what his role was in the team, and then the opportunities that he was going to have, like any other player, in relation to his performances, and the fact that he's played that many games is for his own performances, and the reason he's given us to trust him.
Okay, Tom.